Okay, so let's head into our first of 3 sessions now. This is about succeeding at standout. And you can't plan the future without creativity. I think we'd all agree about that. And it's time to meet 2 of the best in class. Phil Pond of Scarlet Opus and Jane Kellock of USP. And I've been chatting to them this morning. And let me give you a little bit of background about Phil first. He is the grounding force behind the Scarlet Opus team. Really passionate about encouraging young entrepreneurs, and for the past 12 years, he's acted as a mentor to students, sitting on judging panels for product design, sales awards, events, as well as projects. So Phil loves the freedom offered by Scarlet Opus, and we are delighted that he is here to share his story. Over to you, Phil, everybody.
I'm Phil. You don't need to know anything else about me nor the company. There's too much good stuff to share with you. So, Scarlet Opus, that was a nice little ripple that went through there. I found that at the back of PowerPoint one morning. My team hate it. So I'm not going to talk to you about 3 consumer groups, but take it from me that there are 3 macro consumer groups that evolve year to year. I wasn't allowed time to tell you about all 3 of them, so I've picked out some common denominators that if you focus on these in your business, it should help you to future-proof your business and win that success. And the 3 common denominators, I found it really interesting that we've had confirmation in the real world of some of these things this morning. So we're going to talk about clarity, stability, and well-being. Those are the 3 issues that consumers are most concerned about in the next period of time. I get quite nervous when I'm stood up here doing this. I don't know if you're nervous sitting down there for me, but if you are, thanks for the empathy. That's an emotion. And emotions are really important because at the moment, that's all people are operating on. So all of the data, I'm not decrying data, but it won't help you in your business at the moment. All the data you collected up to 2020, that's useless because things have changed too much. All the data you've collected since 2020, it's better, but because it's in a transitional period, in as much that we didn't know how to behave, we didn't know what we were supposed to be doing, it's not all that helpful. So you don't have to. You can do what you like, it's your business, who am I? I'm just suggesting that what you need to do is consider building your strategic plans based on human emotion, connection, and collaboration. And we've spoken a lot about community, so I'll come back to that. So on this front slide, the only thing I want to point out to you is, and it's really hard to do, I've been trying to do it for years, it's very, very difficult. Everybody in the room needs to consider and look at and think about and plan their business through the eyes of the consumer. It's the only person that really matters. And when we go in to talk to clients about their business, we very often come across processes and activities that actually get in the way of engaging with consumers and doing business. So be you when you're a consumer. They're not an alien race, it's all of us in the room, but we talk about them as if they're someone else. So how do you feel when you're shopping? What's the experience that you want, your partner wants, your relatives want? Think about those things and then design your business and then start to put together your strategic plan. Clarity. You can have these slides if you want afterwards. Not these particular ones because they're on a wall, but I can send you a PDF of it. What I want to talk about on that slide there in terms of clarity is over the next 18 months we're going to see some major elections around the world. And when we see that activity, we're going to find something that is key to us as consumers, and I'm going to use a strong word to make a point. We're going to see trust trashed. And the reason we're going to see it trashed is that politicians, the media, are going to overuse the word trust. Trust our party to do this. Trust me, we've done this before. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Now there's an issue for business because there's something called the Edelman Barometer of Trust. It's a global annual survey. And in 2022, something that was trusted the most by all of us across the world was surprising. I have to say it came top of the list, but I've also got to add quickly that the top of the list wasn't very far above the bottom. Trust in society has never been so low. Good news for everyone in the room, top of the list in 2022 was business. People around the world trust business more than they're trusting governments, financial institutions, the media, so on and so forth. Now, to prove how a word gets trashed, say that again, prove how a word gets trashed, we can look back 3 years, and who did not hear the word unprecedented? Exactly, it lost all meaning. In fact, most politicians towards the end of the last 3 years even started using it when it wasn't appropriate. I can remember, I'm sure you can, I can remember listening to people and saying, that wasn't unprecedented, I remember it happening 20 years ago. That's going to happen to the word trust over the next 18 months as we go through these elections. You are the most trusted organisation as a group amongst the people that you want to engage with the most. So the trick is you are going to need to establish trust with consumers without using the word. My suggestion is, I've only got one, establish trust through action. Do what you say you're going to do and say good things. Make it meaningful. It's all about emotion. So clarity, what's the solution for you? Some ideas. Trust through action. Clarity and trust are grown through simplicity. When something is really simple and really clear, metaphorically we're thinking, well, nothing's hidden. I know exactly what it means. None of them are trick words. None of them have double meanings. The actions are absolutely right. So clarity and simplicity. So this is a good time. There aren't any suppliers. Yeah, there are some suppliers in the room, aren't there? Yeah, right. They're probably the good ones. Well done. Because the point about clarity and simplicity is you need fewer suppliers in the store. You need to be displaying less product in order to sell more. I've done most of my research online. I know as much about the product I'm coming in to see as you do. I now need you to establish trust with me so that you can confirm what I'm already thinking. You can give me ideas, and we've heard the word lots this morning. You can inspire me. That's what you need to do. Don't sell to me. No one in the world, from a consumer viewpoint, post-2020, no one in the world is interested in a single product you have to sell. They are only interested in what does that product add to my life? What value does it bring to how I want to live? And that's the emotional connection you've got to make. So, clarity and trust, that's the solution. Simplicity. Stability. You're going to hear a lot about Stoicism over the next few years. That's a philosophy that is resonating with many of us in parts of our life. We just may not recognize it as that. So there's risk in almost everything for consumers, us as people. We don't know whether we're going to keep our jobs. We don't know when the economy's going to bounce back. We don't know if the economy's going to bounce back. We don't know if a robot's going to take over our life and run it for us. We're not sure how we're going to enjoy ourselves. We're not really sure about lots of stuff. And the people and the organisations that we used to turn to gain some stability don't have any. Politicians, governments across the world, repression of freedoms are occurring in countries that we never expected that to happen in. This one, as a start point. So people are looking for things that can add stability to their lives. One of the things that Stoicism puts forward, and modern Stoics we're going to call them, we'll be looking for, they're planners and they're organisers. What they've decided is, it's me and mine that I'm going to look after in this very uncertain time. But they're not selfish, they're realists. So what they're good at and what they're going to get better at and what they are definitely going to look to you all for help in doing is planning and organising so that there are no surprises in life. They're going to save. They're going to buy what they need and nothing more. They want to save energy. They want to save food. They want to save the planet. They don't want waste. And that's a great way for you all to connect with your local communities and build establishment and engagement with them. So they're all their key concerns. And some of the solutions for stability can be found with you. So it's offering products that visually offer stability. Products that say, I'm dependable, I'm going to be here 5 years from now. You can rely on me to help me organise your life. I'm quality, so I'm going to last a long time. You aren't going to have to spend this money again. Products that look good and are stylish. And let me throw a contentious point into the audience, not for discussion now, I haven't got long enough. The point is this, it's us. We're the ones that introduce price into the conversation. These are consumers that are going to purchase what they want if you can convince them it will do what they're looking for it to do. It's good quality, it gives stability, it will last a long time, it'll help me organise this. So don't introduce price. If you don't, it's not the first thing the consumer's going to be talking to you about. And that's something that is a big change from the past, and that will sweep through consumerism in the future. Neville did a great talk earlier on, didn't he? Much better than mine, actually. I was annoyed. But he did mention some really good things. And one of them alluded to personalisation of service and product. And this is key to all of us. So we know that you're going to sell that sofa, or that plant, or one like it to lots of other people. But I want to believe it's just being sold to me. So maybe there's a box of accessories next to a sofa that you allow me to get all the cushions out and try it, and does it look like that for me, and will it look like that in my home? So these are the sorts of experiences we're starting to build up towards the experience of your business, really, retail. That's all it is moving forward. It's an experience. It's not about selling product or plant or anything like that. It's about experience. That's what we're looking for, connection with you. So all those things, you'll get those if you choose to ask for the slides, will help you establish stability with your consumers coming in. Even more important to modern Stoics is, and consumers moving forward over the next few years, is a sense of community in a much stronger and a real way that it exists now. So as a business, what can you do for your local community? It isn't about throwing money to charity. Anybody can do that. Well, I don't, but I could. I could throw money at charity, and I'm sure most of you do. Time and effort is what consumers are going to respect from business in the future. What time and what effort can you make for your local community? So we've done stats clarity, and we've looked at stability. Here's a subject everyone can get involved in, particularly the garden centres, because they've got a head start. They're full of nature. So well-being, depression and suicide by 2025 is reckoned to be the world's largest killer of human beings. The person sat next to you might be depressed, might be feeling suicidal. They're hidden. They're in plain view, but they're hidden. So a sense of well-being is crucially important. Lots of bad news and all that stuff. It's a horrible list. Let's get to the good stuff. So what can you do? Open, airy spaces. Less product to clutter my mind. Make me feel relaxed. You know yourself, it's not about minimalism. It's about having stuff in the store that's there with a purpose and can add things to people's lives. Lifestyle merchandising. I've already said, consumers, when you're consumers, you're not interested in the product itself, you're interested in what does it add to my life. So display it to me as if it was in my life. Don't just put a shelf full of products up. Put the product in the situation that I might actually use it. To be able to do that, you've got to create room. To create room, you've got to get rid of some suppliers to create the space to do what the customer wants. It's all about the customer. Inspire creativity, that's been spoken about a lot today. It's one of the 7 C's, I seem to remember. So creativity is very important. So maybe there's an area in store where I can move sofas and chairs and tables about so that I can create my home in your store. Because we're not really very good at taking an image of a sofa and a colour in a store and taking that home and placing it in the lounge. We just don't get very good at that. So have all of the materials where perhaps I can be creative with you. I'm going to tell everybody about that store experience. So well-being. What can you do to present your products or whatever the product sector is that you're in? What can you do to advertise it online, to talk about it online, that will help me gather a sense of well-being? That's probably the key interest for most of us in life right now. So, space to breathe. I'll gloss over that one because I've got 56 seconds. I know, thank you. Because I want to get to this one. You can measure a customer experience. You can measure it before they get to it, because the more of the 5 senses you involve in your experience, the better it is. So if you have something in store that involves all of those things, you will get fantastic engagement. The one that consumers have top of the list that retail gets wrong is music. 25 seconds to tell about music. So a lot of stores that we go into are playing music that the staff like. Gives me a headache as a customer. Music is a really powerful emotional connector. You can play slow music when you want customers to take their time and stay. You can play faster music when you want customers to shove off because it's 5 minutes to closing time. 1 second. So 5 senses. Taste, you can read them all. It's really key to get those into the experience. Without those human senses involved, you have not created a customer experience. Thanks ever so much. That went by ever so fast, and I have now to leave.
So sadly, we haven't got time for questions with Phil, but I did want to ask. So when it comes to those experiences, and what Neville was talking about earlier, who have you seen who's got it right?
Who have we seen that's got it right? Wow, that's a really good question. You're not going to like the answer.
So specifically around that well-being experience.
Holiday parks, they have it right, because that involves all the senses.
Yeah.
The reality is, just right now, for very good reason, following very tough times, there's a bit of a disconnect between where the consumer is and where retail is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it isn't retail's fault, it's the whole supply chain is going to have to work together to help you both devise and fund the customer experience to everybody's benefit.
Thank you very much, Phil. Round of applause, please. Keep it going for Phil Pond.